some quarterback stuff? I saw you doing the signals and stuff. You switching positions?
I wish. No, I'll leave that to Jared. But just making sure I know all the plays on myself. So that's why I was like, dang, do I know all the signals and stuff? I'm like, I got to get the plays down right. So it was good. It was a good little test for me. I needed it.
What do you feel like you've gained from the first couple weeks here?
Connection, timing connection, and just the camaraderie of like not being here a full year with the team before going into season like it was last year, and just spending and get to know the guys more. We got new guys that have come in the spring and stuff, and then just building on the relationship that I built from last year with Gunnar, with Jaron, with Peeny, with our old line, the Barrington brothers. Obviously, me and Gunnar are missing our brothers, so I always think I'm like, dang, you guys are still lucky. You guys got each other for another year. A year or two, we'll know. Who knows? We'll see.
You've done the adaptation thing, Washington, then coming here. Mm-hmm. How big is that? I mean, because you can't quantify it necessarily as we're watching practice or whatever. How big do you see that being as you acclimate to the guys you're around?
I think it's huge. At least in the receiver room, we don't really have any new faces this spring, so it's super nice of like feeling comfortable, and we all have there's a standard that we've already set in the room, but it's the comfort that we have to hold each other accountable when we're not doing the things right, and then to build on the things that we've already done right. So I mean, we stretch together after a team, we joke around, and we play Call of Duty together. Cade and them. I mean, I'm not the best Call of Duty player, but they carry me. But I'm like, I'll carry you in the weight room. So it's like we just switch it up. They make up where I'm lacking. So it feels good, and they always keep it. We have a good group. I freaking love these guys, and it's been fun to learn more about everybody. And then I guess they know more about me as we've gone along too. The Call of Duty thing, I feel like we don't need to put that out there.
I don't know if there's a college football team that doesn't have some sort of Call of Duty stuff. I mean, this seems to be pretty universal. So
Madden and 2K. I try to stay in the sport games. That's where I thrive.
That's where you excel.
Yeah. NHL. I've tried that. It's not the best. The fighting in that game is actually really hard.
Has there been anyone that stood out to you in the wide receiver room during spring ball up to this point?
I think Cody Epps coming back from his injury and stuff, but it's been super fun. I love talking the nitty gritty of the receiver position with him, and he's always willing to learn. He's always asking questions and stuff. And then I think Chase Roberts too. I mean, those are two guys that we have heard the name before, and they've done some stuff. And I've worked with Chase in high school, but to see them improve and kind of get into the football groove of getting the spring ball touches of playing 11-on-11 football is super fun to see them. All the work that they've put in before, and to see it all work out, it's been super fun to see them run routes, look smooth, and get it down. So those two guys stand out.
With Cody over the last year, I'm curious what your conversations have been like. I know he's dealt with some things off the field. How have you kind of helped him through that?
I wouldn't say I've been able to help him too much. We kind of talk more about football, and he's been able to deal with his injury on his own. I've had injuries in myself, and I think injuries is something that you try to stay away from, but more on the health side of prehab than rehab is something that I feel like I've been trying to teach to the guys. If I had my own injuries of pulled hammies and stuff like that, there are things that we can do to prevent those from happening. So whenever you get that chance to play football, you're always 100% or as close as 100% you can be. So
Malik said that the defense, the offense wore him out today. He felt like it was pretty intense.
Yeah.
What does the defense? How do you guys feel the defense does that to you guys, or do they really push you in the same way? I guess.
I think so. They're definitely one of the more physical groups. We pride ourselves in being one of the strongest and toughest teams in college football, and we feel that every day we come out to practice. So it's something that we don't take lightly, but it's something that we're always trying to beat, because if we can beat these guys every day, and they learn our tendencies and we learn their tendencies, so it's a great opportunity to try new things, but then to test the things that you've been doing and see if it still works, I guess.
Kalani said it was important before spring to stay healthy. Wanted to stay healthy. But you guys are being pretty physical, playing to the thud, and some of those thuds are pretty intense.
Yeah, definitely.
So, I mean, I don't know, you guys are football players, but do you like going a little extra physical, maybe taking a little risk that way, but having that physical side? I know there's a limits that you got to strike, but a balance.
Yeah, I think Coach Kalani definitely does good at keeping us at a limit, because it does some of those stumps are a little bit more physical than you think they would be, but at the same time, something that I think of is like we only get so many times to play football. We have spring ball, and then we play fall camps, and those are the only times we play 11-on-11 football. So whether it's a little thud or a big hit and you get taken to the floor, I mean that's what football is all about, and I love that, because you only get so many times to do it, and you got to take advantage of every opportunity to play, because you can't recreate the real the real-time speed of football games or playing 11-on-11. We do 7-on-7 and all the other stuff, but there's nothing like when you see the linebacker and he's coming full speed at you and you have no choice, but you either got to run out of bounds or you got to tuck your shoulder and take that hit. So I love it. And I don't think we do anything too crazy, but I love it when it does get competitive and it gets a little edge because then you get the best. That's when everybody's competing at its highest and everybody's improving at that point when we get there. So I love that we always have that energy, and our defense is always bringing that, especially with our DB group. So they always keep us on our feet.
Well, he said that he feels like that there's kind of an aura that you guys expect to be special this year. You know, with the number of guys coming back and, you know, the veteran experience and the fact that you've been really good the last couple of years. How do you describe that, and what do you see in terms of kind of that, you know, team-wide sense?
Yeah, I think there definitely is like an aura and energy that we bring. It's a sense of confidence and a sense of not necessarily revenge, but a sense of pride that we didn't have in the UAB game, of kind of letting that game, our last game of the season, down. And that's something that it's a dirty taste in everybody's back of their mouth. So although we know we played some good football last year, we didn't finish it the way we wanted to. So coming into the next season, like there's no more ifs, ands, buts about it. As soon as we hit the field on, I don't know when the date is, but we play USF in Florida, so it'll be fun. And as soon as that first kickoff starts, everybody knows that everything that we've been working for right now is going to pay off. And
Talk about the confidence from last year. It was a really good improvement year for him. How has he built on that confidence?
KIMO. Oh, that's another guy, KIMO. I always forget because I'll be carrying him in Call of Duty the most, actually. So that's why I know he's always in the back of my head, actually. But it's been huge. I love KIMO is actually asked the most questions because he always is trying to learn and always asking about what can I do to get better. So seeing the improvement of him getting the limited reps and taking advantage of those reps, and that's something that we preach to the entire receiver room. We only get so many times and opportunities to play football. You get so many reps. We have 120 guys out here, so you're not going to get 120 reps because everybody needs them. And Kibo's always trying to micro look at everything he's doing so he can get better. So I love that. He's huge. He's gotten a lot faster and stronger, so I'm excited to see what he's got in store.
Out of the quarterbacks, how have you seen the maturation of kind of guys like Jacob and Cade? How have you seen that in this 2 weeks of spring so far?
Jacob, I think just being able to understand what our kind of look, I guess we go against our defense right now. So seeing what our defense does, and our defense is pretty tricky, I think, for most quarterbacks. We got bodies flying everywhere all the time. So Jacob, with that cannon of an arm he's got, he's always trying to fit the ball in, but being smart with the decisions he's taking and the risk he's taking, but also knowing what his strengths are and playing to his strengths at the same time in our offense. So I think I love. I wouldn't say all our receivers love catching warm-up balls from Jake, but that's what my warm-up is, because there's never a light ball coming from Jake Conover, and I actually like it that way most of the time. So, and then Cade being a new guy, I think it's been cool to see him and our other quarterbacks find the rhythm of how our offense works, of the speed we go, and watching Jaron and how he runs and how he controls everything that's going on with our O-line, to the receivers, to the running backs, and making sure everybody's in the right spot. So I think they're all picking it up, but it definitely starts in the veteran guy in their group, and that comes from QB1.
Speaking of the quarterbacks, is it helpful knowing that Jaron's going to be QB1 this year versus last year, not knowing who your quarterback was going to be? Does that make a difference during the offseason?
I think so. Just like the timing reps, especially for me, like coming back, I don't want to miss any timing connection, the little things that he might think that I'm not paying attention to. I'm always trying to pay attention to, because he likes things a certain way and he's QB1. So if he likes to spin the ball a certain way, or he wants me to break out of my cut a certain way, I'm like, whatever you say, I'll make you right, dog.
Anything else? Last question for Bruce.
Peace. See you guys.